In Better Food today, it's all about the pasta. It is National Pasta Day.
I did not know it was National Pasta Day. Pasta with flavors of the fall. Bob and Colin, his son, own the restaurant Mulberry Street in Manchester, also known as The Mulb. And Bob is here again with Colin. And he's also a chef to share a recipe for homemade butternut squash ravioli with brown butter and sage sauce. Hey, guys.
Hey. Nice to be here.
How are you?
It's great to be here.
Nice to see
awesome.
you.
So this isn't just like any ravioli. You're making homemade ravioli.
We make homemade raviolis. And what I want people to look at when you see this is we want to kind of be instructional today. So we're going to teach you something new.
Okay.
And when we make raviolis at Mulberry, we make them kind of big. And there's a reason for that. One, we know our customers and they like a lot of food. So I don't make them really small and petite. I make them kind of on a big side. We call them handkerchief ravioli.
Yeah.
So they're kind of big.
This is one, for instance.
Yeah.
We can go back to this one. I'll show you just how big one of the raviolis is. That's huge.
Yeah. And you can make them small. You can roll them out thinner if you want. You can do whatever you want. Raviolis are pretty standard for every cuisine has a ravioli of some kind. So what I'm going to do is we're going to show you how to put one together. So I'm going to take my trusty little ravioli roller here, and we're going to.
This is an attachment to your KitchenAid mixer.
Yep. And basically what we've got here is flour, egg yolks, salt, pepper, and maybe a little water if we need it.
Okay.
And what Colin's going to do is start to do scoops of filling, and we made a butternut squash filling, which is onions, garlic, cheese, cream, salt, pepper, herbs.
Everything that's good for you.
Anything that's left over in the sink or the refrigerator, we put it in there. So we're just going to roll that together, and then what I'm going to do is put another piece that's going to go right on top of it. So Colin's going to egg that now. Whoop, turn this off.
Okay.
We're done with that. And we roll this out about 4 or 5 times. If you roll it yourself, it's number 4 on the machine in case somebody wants to know how thick it is.
Okay.
Now, raviolis are funny because what you need to be able to do is you got to squeeze the air out. If you get air in there and you boil them, they'll pop and they'll burst. So what we want to do is just work these down, as you can see.
So like you're tucking them in.
We're tucking them into bed here. They're very, this is a neat, see that little air bubble? We're going to push that right out.
Okay.
Now while I'm doing this, Colin is going to start to heat up the sauce. He's going to make a brown butter sauce. This is a classical combination. It goes really well with ravioli, especially butternut squash.
Okay.
And so I'm going to trim these.
Yeah.
And what he's going to do is burn some butter. We're going to take our whole butter in there, and he's going to start to cook that, and it's going to get brown. You want the brown flavor, the brown color.
Colin, what did you just add to the pot?
I added chicken stock.
A little chicken stock.
Yep, and now I'm going to add sage. Sage and brown butter go really well with any type of autumn ingredients like squash, pumpkin, Brussels sprouts, all that type of stuff. So.
Yeah, that's sage and brown butter. That's always such a wonderful thing. So is this on the menu right now?
Yeah, it is. And we're doing a party on Monday for about 60 people.
You want those ones in sauce or in the...
Yeah, why don't you take, Colin, take about 4 or 5 and throw them in the water. Now, these raviolis, just like this, what we do is we freeze them. We could put a lot of flour on them. And they're going to drop some that we cooked them a little ahead so we wouldn't have to wait too long here. We just did some boiling salted water. A lot of salt. We put a lot of salt in the water. That's really important. And that cuts back on the amount of salt you have to add at the end. So, Colin, tell them what you're doing with your butter now.
So I've already browned the butter, and then put sage in. And now I'm putting a little more butter in with the stock to make it kind of like a creamy, rich butter sauce now.
Okay. So that's going to reduce down a little bit, and that's an emulsion. So basically that butter at the end and a little bit of cheese will thicken that sauce up a little bit and make it nice for the raviolis. So
some black pepper.
Yeah.
And this is the base of the sauce.
Delicious. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I wish everyone could smell just how wonderful it smells in here.
Okay, right there, Kara. Let me slide that pot of pasta over here and give me the slotted spoon.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is now the sauce is reducing. I'm going to take these, I drain them out a little bit so you don't end up with water everywhere.
Okay.
I'm going to put them right in with the sauce.
Oh, you put them right in with the sauce.
You kind of know they're done because they float to the top.
Look at it.
Right?
See how it all kind of compacted. That means they're done.
Looks like Frankenstein's brain.
Yes. Well, it goes well with the season.
Yeah, you can make it Halloween.
You can make it a Halloween treat.
Put it with your mummy hot dogs.
Exactly. Mummy. We have about a minute. Just want to give you guys a little.
All right, now he's going to let that get hot. Working with our stove here.
Isn't that beautiful?
A little bit of cheese on top.
Of course, everything tastes better with cheese.
Okay.
Put cheese on everything. Put cheese on our cereal at Mulberry. Okay. All right, load those onto the plate, Colin, and we'll let them have a bite. Yep. A little more sage. Sage is a neat herb. It's got a different flavor. A lot of people tell you that it tastes a little soapy, but
I like it. But
I like it a lot.
Fall. Yeah.
It does. Oh, it's definitely
like
a fall
cilantro
herb.
Summer and sage is fall.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay, delicious.
All right. And what we did was we took a little bit of, here comes the sauce.
Just pour the pan drippings on it, and that's your meal.
All right, as Kara samples
lot of
that, be
food.
sure to stop at the Mold. Bob and Danita and Colin, they'd love to see you. The restaurant is located at 981 Main Street in Manchester. The website is themulb.com.